We all know it's that time of the year again where we're planning and setting our intentions for the new year. Now, if you're someone who wants to make sure that by the end of the year you can look back and actually accomplish your goals, then keep watching, because by the end of this video, you're gonna know all of the tips and the strategies to make sure that your goals get achieved. Hello, beautiful people. My name is Ademu Shoyo, and I help you get more time, life, and energy out of each day through meaningful and intentional productivity strategies. We all know that feeling where we reach the end of the year and you're not really sure what exactly that you've accomplished. That's why setting goals and being able to really measure and track what you're doing and how you're progressing is going to be extremely important in how you set up yourself for success. And by the end of this video, you're going to learn what are the things that you need to do as you start to set your goals for the new year. Setting goals for the new year really requires you to get even more self-aware than you might already be. And the number one way to be able to do that is looking back on the previous year and seeing what got done, what went well, what didn't go well, and really starting to understand what are the actual areas that you want to improve, and also what are the areas that you really want to prioritize. And this is extremely helpful when it comes to really setting goals that are actually tangible and measurable, and ones that are within your reach, because you will have a good understanding of where you were before, and so then you can start to really visualize and envision where it is that you want to go in the future. When you're doing this, this is a perfect time to really understand and evaluate some of your current habits and routines. What are the good habits that you have? What are the bad habits that you need to eliminate? Maybe trying to see what things you want to tweak in your routine in order to really achieve the next level of success that you're going for. But you want to just take a full inventory on your life and what's been going on to make sure that you are really clear on where you're starting, so that you know kind of a better approach as to how you want to move forward. The key here is to really be transparent and really be honest with yourself. If there were goals that you didn't achieve last year, why was it that you didn't achieve them? Are there things that you could do differently this year that would allow you to be able to achieve them? Or is that even a goal that you even want to focus on? So really being honest, making sure that you're doing things that really make sense for you and what is going on within your life, without the focus and the pressure of just having to do something for the sake of having to do it. Once you've set out and worked on your big yearly goals, break them down month by month. Month by month goals really allow you to kind of control things in really bite-sized chunks and kind of make things a little bit more manageable, because tiny habits is what's going to make those big changes. So if you are understanding what your priorities are every month, you can really start to understand like what it is that you need to focus on, how it is that you want to make sure that within this month you're really making the efforts towards your goals, but also making sure that you know what are the things that you might not be prioritizing, even if it is something that you want to achieve. Because the reality of it is you can't do everything every single month. You're gonna have some months where you're focusing on one thing more than the other thing, but that doesn't mean that that isn't really a part of your goals. So by setting monthly goals, you'll really be able to understand what is really the top of mind for this month, and then you'll be able to better plan and organize your life accordingly. Now that you've set your goals, it's time for you to outline what exactly needs to get done in order for you to achieve them. Really take the time to write down your step-by-step process. What are some strategies that you have in order for you to be able to achieve those goals, and how often those things need to happen in order for you to actually achieve your goal. So for example, maybe you have a goal of having 24 YouTube videos out by the end of of this year. One thing that you might want to do is making sure you have outlined the steps of what it takes in order to get one YouTube video out, or how many YouTube videos you want to get out in a month, and what are the different steps that you plan on doing in order to do that. When you're really clear on your process, you're really going to make sure that your goals are not only specific, but they're also tangible and actionable, and there's something that you can actively be working on, maybe not every day, but at least weekly or monthly. The next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you are constantly reviewing. One of the biggest philosophies that I've heard is that what doesn't get tracked doesn't get measured, meaning that if you're not constantly reviewing and keeping track of where you are, it's going to be really hard for you to measure whether or not you actually even did the thing that you said you were going to do. Days go by, and as weeks go by, you're not going to remember every single moment or every single opportunity, but setting aside 30 minutes every week to just check in with yourself to see where you were at this week and what you didn't do, as well as what you didn't do, in order to really better understand where it is that you are succeeding and where it is that you're lacking, and making adjustments accordingly in order to better understand where you're at. A big component of being able to work towards your goals is time management. So understanding where you're allocating your time, being a better steward of how you're using your time is going to be really important in terms of making sure that what you are trying to do, you actually have time to do it. That might mean that you wake up a little bit earlier, 30 minutes every day, or it might mean that you are taking the time during your lunch break to maybe work on something. You really need to make sure that you're just blocking out the time that is needed in order for you to really focus and dedicate time towards working towards your goal. To better visualize and conceptualize and also having your goals on the go, I definitely recommend you use some sort of digital tool like a calendar or Notion or ClickUp, whatever it is that works for you and works within your current workflow and your current system, so that you have something that you can visibly see and you can make those adjustments that are needed, because that's going to be how you really start to stay on top of things. And so if you started on paper, I definitely recommend that you go and digitize it, because if things change, which things always have a way of changing throughout the year, once you learn information or once different things come up, you have a way to easily make those corrections without letting it be an impact or having it be something that makes you start over from scratch. I highly recommend Notion, of course, if you are familiar with my channel, but I also recommend that you use a Google Calendar if there are certain dates that you want to put into your calendar so that you don't miss it, and you also are making sure that you use some sort of tracking to see that you're doing the things that you need to get done. Digitization and using tools to really help you is not going to help you just visualize the things that need to get done, but it's going to make sure that you are really actively staying on top of things, because you'll have it anywhere that you're trying to go, and not just in your home, but on your phone as well. So I am really curious, what is one goal that you hope to achieve this year? Let me know in the comments down below, and let's talk about it. Now that you've done the self-assessment and you know exactly what it is that you want to achieve, and you've outlined all the things that you need to do in order to achieve them, the next thing you really need is accountability. Having people that you trust and that you know will encourage you and will know that will actually hold you accountable when you're slipping is going to be so critical in terms of making sure that you stay on track and that you stay successful. And even if you are someone who is intrinsically motivated, it's important that you have those external factors when your motivation may start to die down, and you just need that little extra push from someone to remind you that you can do this and remind you of why you started something. So whether it be a friend or a family member, or you could join like a mastermind or a coaching program, just something that you are checking in with on a consistent basis so that you can really make sure that you're doing the things that you've set out to do, and you have people who are making sure that you are doing what you said that you wanted to be doing. Because I find that sometimes that even puts even more of a fire in your back to really do the things that you're going to get done, because you said that you were going to do it. Goal setting and working towards your goals is important, but it's not as important as carving out time for yourself or carving out time for other people. In the pursuit of your goals and your ambitions, making sure that you're having time with friends and having time with family members, and you're really just checking in and, giving yourself more of a work-life balance so that you have some time to just free your mind, relax, and not be stressed. And you're also making sure that you're still available and keeping your relationships important. I think community is just as important as working on the things that you are working on for yourself. So making sure that you're still nurturing and fostering those relationships, as well as taking the time for you to rest and recharge, is just gonna give you that new sense of motivation and assurance that you need that all is still going, things are still moving, and you are going to be able to do the things that you want to do. Also, it's important that you not only just work hard, you play hard too, and you give yourself moments and opportunities to reward yourself. So I mentioned in a previous video about the importance of, giving yourself different little rewards for any of the milestones that you may hit. So that could look like treating yourself to a really nice dinner or taking yourself to the spa if you've reached kind of one of the different milestones on your overarching or long-term goals, because that will just kind of give you that little incentive and that boost to keep going and keep moving. You deserve to treat yourself, and you deserve to keep yourself encouraged as you're working towards things, and you don't have to wait until the end to celebrate yourself. You can celebrate yourself along the journey as well. I've given you about 9 tips that will ensure that you're really working hard and achieving the goals that you are setting out for this year, but I wanted to give you a bonus tip, which is make your year smaller. One of the books I read a couple years ago was The 12-Week Year, and it basically condenses your year into 12 weeks, and each week you are actively working towards different priorities that you had set out for that 12th week of the year. And I actually tried it recently, and I found it to be extremely helpful and extremely eye-opening, and I was able to accomplish a lot of things and also build better habits. Rather than focusing on what it is that you want to accomplish for the whole year, take the time to maybe plan out what it is that you want to do within 12 weeks and start working from those 12-week increments, giving yourself a break, and then working again in another 12-week increments, because I guarantee that having that smaller time frame will actually allow you to achieve more, because you're going to be constantly thinking about it, working towards it. You're going to be measuring yourself on a weekly, and I actually have a Notion template that I've personally used that really helps me stay on track with my 12 weeks, and I'm currently using it right now in another 12-week sprint. So I definitely recommend that instead of sort of focusing on what it is that you want to do for 365 days or 52 weeks, focus on what you want to do within 12 weeks, and you will be surprised at how much you want to get done. Thanks so much for watching this video. Be sure to let me know in the comments down below what it is that you are hoping to achieve this year. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.